The wind was cold that night, carrying a strange silence across Maplewood Lane. Most houses were already asleep, lights off, doors locked, and families safe inside. But at the edge of the street, in a small blue house with a flickering porch light, a young woman named Claire stood frozen. She had just opened her front door after hearing a quiet knock, one she almost ignored. And standing there, holding a dim flashlight, was Daniel, the janitor from her office. A single dad she barely knew. Claire's breath trembled. She whispered, barely able to form the words, "Why did you come here?" Daniel swallowed hard, his voice low and urgent. "Because you're not safe tonight." Before we continue with this emotional story, don't forget to subscribe to Kindness Diaries. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and help us spread more real stories that remind the world how powerful kindness truly is. Claire had seen Daniel around the office building dozens of times. He was the quiet janitor who worked late nights, pushing his cleaning cart with tired eyes but a gentle smile. Everyone knew he was a single father raising a little girl on his own, and everyone respected him because he worked hard without ever complaining. But Claire had never spoken to him beyond a polite hello. She couldn't imagine why he would show up at her door so late, his face pale, his voice shaking. "Daniel, what do you mean I'm not safe?" she whispered. Daniel looked over his shoulder nervously before stepping closer. "I didn't want to scare you, but something happened tonight at the office. I found a man trying to break into your locker. He had your address. And when he saw me, he ran." Claire's heart dropped into her stomach. She felt her knees weaken. "I called the police," Daniel continued. "But I didn't want to take any chances. I rushed here as fast as I could." Claire blinked fast, trying to understand. She had left work early that day. She hadn't imagined anything was wrong. "But why would someone follow me?" Daniel shook his head. "I don't know. But I wasn't going to sit there and hope everything would turn out okay. You were alone. And Micah told me you needed help." The sincerity in his voice made Claire's eyes fill with tears. She hadn't realized how quickly fear could wrap around the heart, squeezing tight enough to make breathing feel impossible. Daniel gently guided her back inside and secured the lock behind them. The house felt eerily quiet. Claire wrapped her arms around herself and paced the living room, trying to push back the rising panic. Daniel stayed alert, scanning the windows, making sure everything was safe. His flashlight beam moved slowly across the curtains and corners of the room, as if every shadow had become a threat. "Are you okay?" Daniel asked softly. I guess I'm just scared," she admitted. "I live alone. I never thought something like this could happen." Daniel nodded. "Fear hits hardest when it comes out of nowhere. I felt that too." Claire looked at him, really seeing him for the first time. He wasn't just the quiet janitor anymore. He was a man who had rushed across town to protect someone he barely knew. "Why did you really come?" she asked. Most people would have just called the police and gone home. Daniel hesitated, then spoke from the heart. "Because I know what it feels like when no one shows up for you. After my wife passed away, I had days where I felt completely alone. Nights when I thought no one cared if something happened to me. But somewhere along the way, a few people showed me kindness, real kindness, the kind that saves you without asking anything in return. Tonight, I wanted to be that person for you." Claire wiped a tear from her cheek. His words were simple, but they carried weight built from loss, survival, and quiet strength. Minutes later, blue lights flashed outside as police arrived. Daniel stepped out to explain everything while Claire stayed inside, watching from the window. Officers searched the property, checked her doors and windows, and reassured her that they would patrol the neighborhood through the night. When Daniel came back inside, Claire noticed how tired he looked. It was late, far past the hour he should have been home with his daughter. "Your little girl," Claire whispered. "She must be waiting. I'm so sorry you had to go through all this because of me." Daniel smiled gently. "She's with my sister tonight. And she knows her dad tries to do the right thing when he can." Claire felt a warmth in her chest, an unexpected feeling of gratitude mixed with awe. "Thank you, Daniel, for coming. For caring. For not ignoring it." He shook his head. "Kindness isn't something you ignore when it matters. Not when someone could be in danger. Not when you can make a difference." As the night calmed and the adrenaline faded, Claire made Daniel a cup of hot tea while they waited for the final police update. They talked, really talked, for the first time. She learned about his daughter Emily, about his long night shifts, and about the quiet bravery it takes to rebuild a life after heartbreak. And Daniel learned that Claire, despite her confident look at work, had been struggling with loneliness and anxiety she never shared with coworkers. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen. Hours later, when everything was confirmed safe, Daniel finally stood to leave. Claire walked him to the door, the same place where fear had first hit her, but now filled with a strange sense of comfort. "Daniel," she whispered, "you didn't just keep me safe tonight. You reminded me that there are still good people in this world." He smiled, tired but sincere. "And you reminded me that kindness still matters." As he walked down her porch steps, Claire felt a renewed strength inside her. A strength built not from fear, but from the kindness of someone who chose to show up. Kindness doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it arrives as a knock in the middle of the night, holding a flashlight and a heart brave enough to care. And when we choose kindness, when we show up for each other, we create a world where no one has to face fear alone. Let this story inspire you to be that light for someone else, because your kindness might be the reason someone feels safe tonight.